Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be preparing a delicious snack. It's known as patties and I'm going to fill with the chicken filling. It's crispy and crunchy. Let's see what are the ingredients we need for this recipe. For the filling, we need 120 grams potatoes, 200 grams chicken. I took chicken breast without the bone, 60 grams tomatoes, 80 grams onion, 1 green chili, 1 tablespoon ginger garlic paste, quarter teaspoon turmeric powder, half a teaspoon masala powder, 1 teaspoon cumin seeds, half a tablespoon mixed spices, 1 stems curry leaves, 2 tablespoons of oil, salt to taste. For the dough, we need 250 grams flour, 75 grams butter, half a teaspoon of salt, 100 ml water. Make sure it could be cold water. Take a pan, let it warm little bit before you adding the oil, so pan will be dry. Add your oil, onion and pinch of salt. Saute it for 2 to 3 minutes. Don't caramelize the onions. At this stage I am adding ginger garlic paste. Add your chicken. Then fry a little bit. Add your chili, tomatoes and curry leaves. I crushed the curry leaves and saute it for a couple of minutes. Then I am adding the potatoes. Cut the potatoes into a cube. And then salt, all spices, fry it until it cooks. And I'm going to cover with the lid so the potato will cook in a steam. Don't add extra water to cook the potatoes. Between once or twice, just open the lid and see. Whatever stick to the bottom, please try to scrape off the flavors. And cover with the lid one more time. At this stage, check your seasoning. I use the masher, mash the potatoes little bit, not whole the potatoes. That's an optional. Once your filling is done, leave it to the side to cool it down. Meanwhile, I'm going to knead the dough, so you can do all at once, step by step. You don't need to wait for a long. In a bowl, measure your flour and salt. Once you add the salt, make sure to mix it. So when you add in butter, it doesn't stick to the one place to another. Add your butter here. Make sure butter is not too hard, too soft. If it's too hard, you find it a little bit difficult to rub it with your fingers, and if it's too soft, the dough not comes as we expected. Once you add your butter with your fingertips, try to rub the butter with the flour. This is what we call rubbing method. Every single time when you feel the butter stick to your fingers, try to rub it with the flour. Grab some flour from the bowl and rub with the butter. So it will become to the crumble stage. Don't try to knead it. If you knead, the butter start to melt. If it's uphen, you will end up with a melted dough or greasy dough. If it's happen, you need to put in the fridge. In this recipe and the method, if you follow correctly, you don't need to keep the dough in the fridge. You can straight to work on it. Whatever stick to your fingers and the bowl, try to scrape all. And once you come into this stage like a crumble, add your half of the water and just give a little mix and the rest of the water. Don't over knead it. Again, if you over knead it, your dough will be soft or you won't get the texture as we explained earlier. You don't normally the pastry doughs you don't need to handle too much, not everyone but particular this recipe. Comes as a bowl, you don't need to overmix. Now I'm going to divide the bowls into small portions. For this, I just take the scale and cover with the cling film. For each portions, I am dividing into 40 grams to 45 grams. At the first stage, I am dividing into 10 portions. Then I am taking a baking tray and dust with the flour and leave it to side. I am rolling one bowl at a time. This is a patties mold, and I am roll the dough one whole half a centimeter bigger than the mold. Don't try to roll too thin. Just a one whole half a centimeter extra to the mold. That's more than enough. By the time the filling will be cold enough to fill inside, I took this spoon to fill. It feels like a 1 or 1.5 spoons of filling. Once I fill, I seal the mold and trim off the edge with the fingers. And make sure once you trim off, try to press little bit the mold before you open it. It helps to seal properly. If it's little bit opens, then when you are frying, the filling start to come out from that hole. That's going to be a big hazard, so we don't need to do that. So I have made few of them, and rest of the trim off parts I'm not going to need it to make it a one bowl. I just bring the small trim pieces one by one. It can be like a two pieces or three pieces for another one patties. Don't try to knead it once again because every time you knead, the dough will get hard. First batch of patties will be soft, and the second batch patties will be little bit hard because you are kneading the trim off parts. So make sure don't knead them. So leave one piece by one piece next to each other and roll it top of that. Again, like it takes like a two pieces or three pieces, depends on the trim off sizes. I have made few of patties from that trim. Then whatever doughs left over, I'm not going to throw it away. I just try to roll it and just cut it to the diamond shape, and I'm going to fry that. You can have that one as a fry snack. You don't need to throw the rest of the things. Once I made, I going to straight to the fryer to fry it. So take a deep pan and fill with the oil. Make sure always patties would be better to fry with the fresh oil, not the used oil. And before you add, try to put a small pieces of dough, so you will recognize is that oil is enough temperature to put the patties inside. Once the oil comes to the stage of heat, you can add your patties. So once you fry the patties, make sure when you are putting inside, just keep a distance between each other. Don't put top of each other, which will stick to each other. So make sure just keep a little gap between each, and fry one side and the turn into the another side. You can fry until golden brown. And if you are freezing these patties, try to fry until the stage of white color, so you can straight freeze it. If you are going to have it straight away, just fry until the golden brown. And once you fry, lay out the kitchen towel onto the plate and bring your fry patties onto that plate. The kitchen towels helps to absorb the excess oil from your patties. I made this recipe for my son's birthday and the previous cutlet recipe as well, and upcoming two recipes like the one spring rolls and the cake as well. I made all in one day. What I try to explain, you can make all three recipes I'm talking about short is one day, because this is very easy recipe, and I made the cake as well. So if you are speed enough, hopefully you can cover three recipes in one day, and you don't need to keep in the refrigerator, hold for a while and roll it back. For this recipe, once you made, you can straight to fry it. I hope you enjoy this recipe. I'll see you in my next video. Please stay tuned to my channel. Until then, bye from Chef Fatma Shifnaz.